Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sales Dojo here in Cedar Park, Texas. Our audience here is it's vastly growing. So for those of you that are watching, thank you for joining. I'm about to get my Dojo mojo on. So I'm very excited. So today what I want to talk to you about, most of you that are watching, you're a new agent with us and you've been checking out our dojos, and thank you for doing that. Conversations that I've been having with some of you are you're having some difficulty getting into phone calls. The outbound conversations are just not happening. And, with any type of response, you're saying, oh, well, these leads are not good, or I've been calling all these people and they're just not picking up. Well, I think what's happening is that you, as an agent, are just starting the understanding of how outbound works. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about how to create a proper mindset of being an outbound calling agent. A little bit about myself. I started 4 years ago on the same path as you. I was an outbound agent calling T65 leads. And I, like yourself, had difficulty getting into conversations. I'm a chatty Cathy. I love talking to people. But I just was having a tough time getting into calls. I make a lot of call outs. I get a lot of voicemails, and conversations that I have with people were not even conversations. They would be like, oh, I'm not interested, and hang up on me, or, oh, I'm taken care of, thank you. And I'd be like, okay, well, have a wonderful day. And I just talked to my supervisor, and I'd be like, what is going on? I thought we'd be talking to people. I'm having trouble understanding what is happening. Why are these people not wanting to do things? And the reason is because, first and foremost, they are not expecting your call. Okay? So many of you out there that are understanding that, yeah, it's outbound, it's a different thing. It's really not a different thing. Okay? So when we talk about outbound versus inbound, okay, the very nature of the call starts out different, but it's not the same. It's not a different result. Okay? So when you have an outbound call, people are calling in. So the intent is, I need to talk to somebody. With an outbound call, they are looking to talk to somebody. But the difference is they are talking to somebody on your time. Okay? Because you're calling them. So on the outbound mindset, you have to understand these people are not just walking around and then they pick up the phone and they're like, I have no idea what's going on. Okay? They are interested in talking to somebody. Okay, so on an inbound call, they are talking to somebody on their time. On an outbound call, they are talking to somebody on your time. So when you get in contact with somebody, they are not expecting to talk to somebody at that time. But you have to understand that they are wanting to talk to somebody. The reason that you have these leads in front of you is that they have expressed some interest in some way before. Okay, we are not allowed just to pick up numbers in a phone book and call people. Okay, these people that you are talking to or that you are leaving voicemails with, these are people that have expressed interest. It's just that they have expressed interest either very transiently or very deep interest. But either way, when you are calling them, to repeat, you are talking to them on your time because you are calling them. While in inbound, they are talking to you on their time. So when you get into contact with somebody, that has to be understood. So you introduce yourself, you say, I saw that you were looking into Medicare, or you have some questions or concerns about Medicare. Okay, you have no idea what plan they have. You have no idea. They might be new to Medicare. They might be you have no idea. So the first interaction within the first 10 to 15 seconds is, hey, this is Stephen Grip. I see here that you are looking into Medicare. Well, I'm a Medicare agent and I'm here to help. How can I help you? What's going on? Okay. Many, many, many agencies, and I was a part of it, have these very scripted, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Give me a second. They're very scripted and they're very strict. Okay, that you have to say these lines. Okay, it's very automative and it's very impersonal. Medicare Gurus doesn't do that. We have these lists of people, and I lived on these lists. we would call these people and they have some expressed interest. So in the 10, 15 seconds, you say to them, hey, this is Stephen Grip, Medicare Gurus. Hey, saw that you were looking into Medicare. I'm a Medicare agent. What's going on? It's more personal and you have no idea what's going on. Okay? Now, the majority of the time, they're going to give you a smoke screen. Okay? It is not a real reason of why they don't want to talk to you. Okay? That's just their reaction. Many of you have told me, well, I've left a lot of voicemails, but I haven't really had conversations. It's just been 2 minutes where they're just not interested. Well, that's because of inexperience. You're not addressing the frame of the conversation. What you're trying to do is you're trying to force yourself in their house when they're like, who are you? So what you have to do is just say, hey, I'm at your front door. I saw that you expressed some interest in Medicare, had some questions. I'm an agent. I'm an expert. How can I help you? So if they're like, oh, no, I got it taken care of, congratulate them. Even though it may not be true, and most likely it isn't, congratulate them. You say to them, hey, you got it taken care of? Fantastic. That is awesome. That is great job. You're new to Medicare or you're on a group plan. Ask them those questions. Hey, it looks like you're new to Medicare. Did you start with an Advantage plan or a supplement plan? What happened? What did you do to get it started? I just stayed with my. Now you are having conversations. You have to ask the right questions to get into the conversation. If they say, I have it taken care of, which I'm assuming you're hearing a lot of, okay, how do you know what that means? How do you know that I've got it taken care of means they got it taken care of? And this is a little bit of an arrogant side for me for doing it this long, is I tell myself, no, they didn't. They didn't get it taken care of because they haven't done it through me. I know how to take care of policies. I know how to take care of people the right way because I'm a Medicare Gurus agent. I have over 30 carriers that I work with. I've been in the business for over 4 years. You taking care of it has probably been somebody over the phone, or you've talked to some HRA where they just kind of set you up with a measly Advantage plan. You have no idea. The majority of people that I talk to in these situations, they have been set up on their Medicare with an HRA. And those people, what they're doing is they're just pre-programmed to teach people to get them in Advantage plans, to make the transition, quote unquote, seamless, where you have a group plan and it's like, okay, I'm retiring. Okay, my HRA is assigned to you to give you this pre-prescribed Advantage plan that we are supposed to give them to transition into this new plan. There's no Medicare education. They don't even know how Medicare works. All they are taught is to get you in the plan that they've been subscribed to give you. So when they say they got it taken care of, ask them, did you get it set up through your group, through your work? And most of them will say, yeah, I did get it set up. How did you know that? Well, most of the people I talk to now are retiring. So you probably got your Medicare set up through your work. Now, these people that are assigned to these clients, they're not educating them on Medicare. Like I said, they are just pre-programmed to give them the Advantage plans that they are prescribed to give them. And so when I talk to them, I say, okay, you got it taken care of. Now, I want you to understand that that's a great job. You got everything taken care of, but there may be some things that you're missing out that they did not educate you on. Now, did the HRA put you on an Advantage plan? Yes, they did. Good. Okay. Did they talk to you about your options that you had? What do you mean options? Do you hear what I'm doing now? Do you hear what I'm doing? I'm starting to take control of the conversation. Okay. So the majority of the people that I'm talking to, these conversations are going from 1 to 2 minutes to now 5 minutes because now they're listening to me. What do you mean? I was not told of these options. Excuse me. So now they're listening to me. And now they're listening to me because I am an expert on Medicare. I'm able to explain to them that these HRAs are only designed to help you enroll in a plan, not educate you about Medicare. Okay. Now, this is just one example. Okay. Every person is different, obviously, but the key factor as Brandon Todd teaches us in his training, is frame the conversation. You have to frame the conversation and take control of the conversation within the first 2 minutes. Because one, they've probably talked to many, many other agents who are just bailing out as soon as they say, oh, I've got it taken care of. Okay, great. Goodbye. Okay. So they've already, it's force of addiction. They're like, got it taken care of, goodbye. Got it taken care of, goodbye. Got it taken care of, goodbye. Okay. Now they talk to you and now you're asking questions. Okay. You got it taken care of. Okay, great. How did you get it set up? Did you get it set up through Medicare.gov? Did your employer set it up for you? Are you retired? Like, what's going on? Do you have a separate agent? Okay. You may have a separate agent that you've been working with already. So that's even easier because most of the time those agents, they just want to get them in plans. So now you say to them, look, I'm so glad that you got another agent that you're working with. Have they talked to you about your options? Have they talked to you about Medicare supplements versus Medicare Advantage plans? Okay, if they haven't, that's okay. We're not going to talk about that right now. The next step of the conversation, after you have framed the conversation, okay, that's step 1, 2 minutes. What are we going to be talking about? Okay, they have to trust you because you're asking the right questions. So once you got past the framing of the conversation, now you're getting into introduction. Okay, listen, it sounds like you have done this already, but it sounds like there's some options that haven't been reviewed, or it sounds like there's some things that are missing in your Medicare enrollment. That's okay. Let me tell you who I am. Okay, I am Stephen Grip, and I'm a Medicare Guru's agent. Okay, we've been in the business for over 35 years. We've been helping people Medicare for 35 years. I've seen everything. I know how to handle any type of Medicare situation. And I guarantee you I'll be able to handle yours as well. And I want you to know that because I'm a Medicare expert, I want to make sure that all of your options have been reviewed. And I'm sort of aggressive with it. And they hear that aggression, or it's that pleasant persistence, as I call it. I'm pleasantly persistent. Okay? I want to make sure that, I'm not making them frustrated, but I'm also letting them know, like, hey, I'm able to talk to you about anything regarding Medicare because that is my job. And nay, that is my life. Okay? This is what I do for a living. So I want to talk to you about who I am so that way you know when I'm talking about what I'm talking about, you know I'm an expert. So introduce yourself. Okay? Before we talk about anything else, it sounds like you're willing to listen to me for a little bit at least. Let me introduce myself. Okay, Stephen Grip, 34 years, never a complaint filed against us. I have hundreds of clients that I have under my belt. And what my job is to make sure that when we hang up the phone, I am sure that you are in the right place. Whether you tell me that you've taken care of it the way I feel it's been taken care of, or if it hasn't, I want to take care of the situation. And when they hear that confidence, they hear that, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy understands how Medicare works. And I also let him know, look, my services are free. Talking to me is not going to cost you anything. A lot of times people are hesitant because you're trying to sell them something, okay? Now, here's a tip. Never, ever, ever say, I'm not selling you anything. I'm not here to sell you anything, okay? Because that's misleading because you do want to sell them something, okay? That's your job. You want to sell them something or you want to enroll them something so you get paid. Now, you don't want to be upfront with that. But what you do want to say is you want to say, listen, this is not a sales call because it's not. I'm calling because I want to make sure your Medicare is taken care of. Now, if we get to that point in the conversation where we do have to get you enrolled, that will happen when it happens. But as of right now, this is not a sales call at all. All I want to do is I, as a Medicare expert who has hundreds of clients who've seen hundreds and hundreds of scenarios backfire for clients that said they had everything taken care of that I'm hearing with later, my desire, my emphasis on wanting to get this taken care of for you comes through the phone. Because remember, that's all you have is your voice. So in the introduction, you have to let them know, like, look, I am here. This is not a sales call. This does not cost you anything. I want to evaluate your Medicare situation. We evaluate people's Medicare. And I'll tell you what, that is a line that I use all the time. We're just here to do a Medicare evaluation. This is not a sales call. We're here to evaluate your Medicare situation. And in order for me to do that, I need a couple of things. So let me verify some information in my system first, and then we'll talk. And then once you get into verifying information, getting into the normal sales cadence, they are ready to talk to you. They are invested into hearing what you have to say. Okay? You're not selling them anything, at least not yet, but now you are into the call. So, to reiterate, you have the framing of the conversation immediately, 2 minutes. I have everything taken care of. Okay, what does that mean? I mean, obviously you don't say it in that tone, but what does that mean? Okay, did you have everything taken care of? Great. That is fantastic. Are you retiring? Are you new to Medicare? Like, what do you mean? Did you get a supplement? Did you get an Advantage plan? Did you have an HRA set you up? Do you have an agent that set you up? Like, what got it taken care of? Okay. Now, one or two things are going to happen. They're going to be brusque about it and say, I don't want to talk to you and hang up on you. Well, you at least tried. But I'm telling you, the majority of people will at least back and forth with you. Well, I got an agent. Okay, great. You have an agent. Now, just let me ask, because I'm a Medicare evaluator, was it an agent, a local agent that you go to? Was it somebody over the phone? Now, I'm telling you, they are lying to you. Okay? They are lying to you. And if they're not, then good for them. Now you're going to be able to have a conversation because they're earnest people who want to talk to you and tell you about their situation. But most of the people, they want to get you off the phone. And they don't know how to get you off the phone, so they're just going to tell you these excuses. Oh, I got an agent. Okay, great. Now, is that agent someone who's local that you go see? Is this an agent who, you're over the phone with? Are they a captive agent? What type of agent are you working with? Because I am not the equivalent of a broker. A broker in the industry is someone who has maybe 3 to 5 carriers. I have 30. So I'm able to do a better job. We are considering ourselves an independent enrollment center where we have all these carriers. So you may have just an agent that just maybe a captive agent that just got you the plan that they have to sell you because that they're indebted to their company because they pay their bills. But we don't know that yet. So I want to ask questions. So, hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great.
Good. So what we're talking about today is we're talking to new agents about how to work with outbound calls. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of agents, not a lot, I take that back. We've had a few agents who are brand new to outbound. So their defense mechanism is these leads are bad. I can't get any conversations. They don't really understand how the outbound system works. So I've just been going over steps to how to go through an outbound call to help overcome those objections. So I'll turn it over to you. What are some experiences that you've had with successful outbound calls where, in the first 2 minutes of framing the conversation, they were aloof or they were not talking to you?
Well, first thing I do want to preface this with is, sure, sometimes leads can be poor, but know that your upline or your agency, they want to work on the leads. Every agency deals with, a bad lead source, right? They were promised or leads were advertised in a certain way, and sometimes it turns out it's not true, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's a small agency or a big giant agency that we used to work for, they all deal with that same issue, right? Mm-hmm. But trust me, the agency doesn't want to continue buying bad leads. So they're always tweaking that. All you can do as an agent making outbound calls is to leave the best voicemails you can leave. And so I think it's just making sure you are conveying that you are the authority on mm-hmm. a voicemail, right?
Right.
Humanizing yourself. First of all, leaving voicemails is super important because we know all the spam calls and calls that are not legitimate. These people are not leaving voicemails because they don't want to leave a paper trail, so to speak, right? So you just have to work these leads as best you can, leave really great quality voicemails, humanize yourself. Just, let them know you're the authority, right? Say, hey, look, hey, I'm an agent or I'm an advocate. I've been doing this a long time. Call me. We'll talk about it, or make it vague. Hey, call me. I'm just responding to your request for help.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. What is a good voicemail? A good example. I mean, what is a good voicemail?
Let's see. So, for example, I left a bunch of voicemails this morning, and it went as such. Hi, Joan. This is Victoria. You had requested some help with Medicare. I'm here to help. I'm an agent. I'm an advocate. I've been doing this a long, long time. I'm happy to help. Just call me. Whether it be a question or you need some guidance, there's no question too silly or too intricate for me to handle. Let's figure it out together, though. But you have to call me. I'm at such and such number, whatever.
That's good.
Yeah, that is actually an example of a voicemail where a lady called me back. I remember I rang my own bell about that last week, and she said of all the voicemails she got, she liked mine the best, and because she said it conveyed that I was a real person, I knew what I was doing, and I cared, and that's why she called specifically.
What are your thoughts on, like, let's say you're leaving voicemails and you're just not getting good feedback or calls that you'd like? Do you feel like you should change up your voicemail, or do you feel like you should just, no, it's just a patch right now. I'm going to stay consistent with my voicemail style, and then it will come around later? What are your thoughts?
So any callback is positive.
Correct. Yes.
Good,
always.
bad, or in between. Whether they're calling to yell at me to tell me to stop calling, I consider that a win, right? Because they called me back.
Right.
And, if you have the skill set to handle those people and let them know that you're there to help them, that's on you, because if they call back, you obviously did something right, whether it's even to tick them off, enough for them to call you back. I think the only callback is a non-callback. But then it's just tweaking your voicemails to get a good response.
That makes sense. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I keep my voicemails as vague as possible. Hey, this is Stephen Grip with Medicare Gurus. Just saw you had some interest in Medicare. If you have any questions or concerns, give me a call, and then I leave my number. I keep it very simple. And that has been my most prominent success, because it's like, I've even got, Frank's even told me, you should just call me, like, hey, it's Stephen Grip, give me a call.
And I go through phases. I go through phases where sometimes I'm like, you know what, the first round will be really, really detailed. And then my second round will be less detailed, and I get more and more vague or more and more, detached from it. But then there's some days like today, it's a Friday post AEP, and it's just kind of silly, or it's super lax as far as, today I've been leaving voicemails that said, hey, it's Victoria. I'm checking back in with you. I'm here to help. Hey, if you got it taken care of, great. Call me back, at least let me know. We'll take you off the list and stop bugging you and let you live your life. But you have to call me one way or the other. It's just more and more like that today. That's one of those days.
I think the lesson is leave voicemails.
Yes, you have to. You have to.
Some people like you said, people disregard that, but you got to leave the voicemails.
I know. I get so many spam calls all day. And if I don't recognize the number, if it's not in my phone, I do not answer it. And if they leave me a voicemail, I'll hear out the voicemail. But if they don't, I absolutely will not be calling them back. Why would I, right?
Exactly.
It must not be important.
Good. So we have voicemails, framing conversations, introductions, and then we're in the call. I want to transition to, let's wrap this up here. The concept of pipeline. A lot of these agents that are now going to take this and start getting into conversations, starting to talk to people, they're going to get objections. Well, I got to think about it, or, I got to talk to my wife, or, any of these nonchalant, pushback. Let's first understand that pipeline is dead. I know that we like to feel like, oh, okay, let's take care of it tomorrow. And then, you feel like that's a win. But based on your experience, you just got out of your AEP. Did you get to your goal, your 100? Did you get your 100?
Just shy of that. I could,
Failure.
No.
Okay.
I did it to myself, though. You know what? It's because I'm a good person is why I didn't hit the 100. Because I gave some away to some of my agents that I'm mentoring.
For teachable.
Yeah, teachable experiences and to kind of help them get a jump start on things.
Yeah.
So if I was all about me, I absolutely could have hit it and exceeded it. It is that I wasn't concerned about that.
Good.
I was in a selfless mood.
That's one of your qualities that you have. You're a very selfless
Sometimes
person.
to my detriment.
I can see, but to be honest, like working alongside of you, you're a very selfless person. I mean, you can even ask the agents that worked under you how fast they've grown. Just by your generosity and
under
your
my tutelage.
Your tutelage, yeah, under Victoria tutelage.
Yeah.
But you see like Mike and Allison, like they are staying on and they are confident that they're going to be successful agents here because you've helped them.
They've grown and they can see that they've grown too.
Yeah.
They see it for themselves. Yeah.
And you have seen them come to you like the first week and they're like, exactly what we're talking about. I can't get people on the phone. Lots of voicemails and I can only get into 30-second conversations.
Guess what, honey? That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I told them, I said, unfortunately, you haven't been in the business. That's how it goes. Some days you have those days where nobody wants to call you back. They don't call you back. It's just nothing but you calling, leaving voicemails all day long. There are those days. So just expect that there will be those days.
Yeah. I remember sitting by Mike and Mike, when he first started, he had the car salesman voice in he's like, hey, this is Mike
Come on down to the Medicare
Come
shop.
on down.
To the
How
Medicare
you doing
gurus.
today?
We're going to get you a great deal on a supplement.
I'm like,
all right.
Mike, how are you still on the phone with these people?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you and I both kind of wore him down like, look, that may work in car sales world, but that's not going to work with these people.
Well, but see how my approach was is I didn't say anything. I heard it.
Really?
And I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything?
No, in the beginning, I didn't say anything.
Okay.
And then about a week went by or so, and I said, you're leaving your voicemails. How's it working out for you? Now I'm really getting callbacks. Oh, well, let's dissect that.
Right.
Let's see why. Right. Let's hear, what do you sound like? I said, are you wanting to go back to car sales? He's like, no. Well, why do you still sound like a car salesman?
Right.
You don't even realize that you do. And, and so, we kind of dissect that and we kind of make adjustments here and there. And he's had, long story short, great success now.
He's had I mean, immediate is maybe not the right word, but it has clicked for him.
Yeah.
He
the way he learns
1,000,000% better.
Right. Yeah. I've tried to adapt to the way he learns. We learn in a fairly similar way.
Right.
And so you just have to kind of nurture that.
Yeah.
And I think I have. And it's just suddenly it has all clicked and he has hit the ground running and he is being super successful lately.
Yeah, he's doing 2 a day. Now, folks, if you're watching this, he is calling the same exact lists that you are calling, okay? Yes, you have your exclusive leads that you're talking to, but it's from the same T65 and same anniversary list, okay? It's just that he's gone through the motions. He has the in-house coaching, which has amplified his
there are quite a few benefits to that. Right?
Yes. So if you're out there and you're frustrated with the calls, remember, that's part of the business, but remember, be patient and take our advice of, framing the conversation, leaving good voicemails, getting into the introduction. Don't try and sell them in the first 2 minutes because they're going to pick that up. They've talked to people who are terrible at their job that want to sell them right away. That's not your job. You evaluate their Medicare. So I'm really glad that we left it on that.
Now, unfortunately, I know that the remote agents don't have access to, us, the in-house support. But that's why I think these dojos are so important for them to watch because, no, they can't hear what other people are doing for their voicemails that are successful, but they can watch this dojo and hear the example I just gave of the successful voicemail there. And is there a way... I'm wondering, is there a way for our remote agents to request topics for us to cover?
That's a great question.
That's a great idea. I'm glad I came up with it.
So as we move forward with our recruiting and our growth, we are Brandon and myself and Frank have already had topics and curriculum that we want to start adding into the dojos. But as we start to integrate those agents who are participating in these dojos, I will definitely say, hey, let's open it up to suggestions for topics. We already have one already that reached out. They want training on Medicare supplement. So next week for the dojos, we're going to talk about Medicare supplements.
Yeah, that's smart because that's where the longevity is.
Yes.
That's where the residuals are going to stay put.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, this AEP, I was heavy on the supplements. And I'll tell you what, I'm not having to wait till January to get paid for what I do during AEP. I've been getting paid on my supplements throughout. And those will stick, and it's proven that the supplements stick, and the residuals you can really expect those to be coming for a long time.
She is going to have a nice January, though. Just to be fair, you're treating.
Yes. Oh,
in January.
We'll see.
It's on record. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap up there because we have some calls we have to take. We have some people that want to hop on board, so I got to get back on the phones. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and make sure you tune in next week because we're going to be focusing on Medicare supplements specifically. We're going to have conversations about how supplements work. We're going to talk about how they work in the market in terms of selling them. You know, all the ins and outs of supplements. All right. So, with that being said, Grip is out. Thank you, Victoria.